by DCIF, and this is a series of webinar which DCIF continue to organize and educate on technical front, specifically on telecom and internet. Today we have a very important topic called artificial intelligence. Of course, you must have heard a lot about artificial intelligence from various speakers, but today and tomorrow, we are going to have a expanded talk on artificial intelligence on various topics which are normally not handled by speakers. So before I come to the topic, let me introduce the speaker today. Vipin Tyagi is a well-known person in telecom technology, and he has a very illustrious experience in his career. He was a C-level executive for more than 20 years, and he led the organizations, especially technical organizations, for more than 11 years. What we know about him is that he was former executive director of CDOT, and he was also chairman of the board of Center for CDOT. Now this designation is changed as Chief Executive Officer of CDOT. He was also global CEO of Network Incorporation, Program Incorporation, US-based company, which was expert in making programs for telecom networks globally. Vipin was also CTO, CIO, and Executive Vice President, Strategic Relationship at PGI USA. Technical expert, he has got 12 patents which are granted. 22 patents he has filed. I hope that some of them must have been matured also by now. He got 6 copyrights granted and 6 copyrights applied for. And friends, he has more than 36 articles which are published in journals and conferences, which are 100% technical publications. Vipin is a member of this organization, DCIF, for a long time, and he was president also, led all of us from the front. And he was part of 200 such apex government committees in IT and telecom in his career. So friends, everybody knows Vipin, and I think everybody is waiting for listening from Vipin. But let me introduce that he is going to touch around 10 topics. One is boundaries of AI in reaching human level intelligence. Indian philosophical prospects on consciousness. This is important, which is normally not touched by people. Distinguishing key concepts of AI, hard and soft problems of consciousness, brain-inspired cognitive models, key scientific theories, 4E cognition and autopsies. Then he is going to touch very important thing, objective reality versus subjective meaning, emergent versus fundamental consciousness, and finally, if time permit, possibility of new principles of nature. So friends, these topics are in addition to what we understand about ChatGPT or Grok, or we see lot of fake images which are getting generated, which are being talked of the people, the AI which is part of the war which is going on, and also the war which is going on between Russia and Ukraine and Iran and all those things. I know that AI is playing a lot of parts. Now, I don't want to come between you and Vipin, but I just want to request all of you to kindly have a blank paper and a pen with you. Kindly note down your queries, and we will open up in the last 20 minutes of this session for question answer session. At that particular time, one by one, we will take up the queries. Whatever queries we may not be able to take up today, we will try to take up tomorrow. And I think Vipin should be able to help us in answering all the queries of all the participants. With these words, I stop here and I hand over to our speaker, illustrious speaker, and much awaited talk, Vipin Tyagi.
Thank you, Anilji. I think it is great to be among the friends and the high capable technologists. I particularly welcome N.K. Srivastav, who has joined us from the United States. Also, Atul Gupta, who I think is an expert, of the highest order to this, apart from our Duaji and Pawan Garg Saab, who have joined lately. So let me begin with some ground rules here. The ground rules are that the topic is going to be a little bit new to everybody, and if you don't get it, don't worry about it. Just note down whatever you have understood as a pointer, and there will be a lot of contemplation which will be required, because to my mind, this is the cutting edge research that is going on in both AI, in brain sciences, in physics. I have attempted to actually bring it so that it becomes palatable to all of us. I am not going to present any equations, and I am also not going to be making it hard for anybody to learn the concept. So, rule number one, relax. Absolutely, we all know you are great. Don't worry about if you don't get it, because in the end, we will conclude nobody knows. Anyway, right? So, if you miss it, you're not going to lose anything. Okay, and a second ground rule is that don't hesitate to ask questions, but look for proper time. Third one is no disruptions as long as possible. And fourth one is from my side, I'm not the smartest in the group. I understand that. Consequently, no pretense of knowing everything. But one thing, what I have done is that attempted to kind of get things together and make a presentation. I have that tradition in DCIF that we have to be ahead of the curve and not follow whatever is going on. Consequently, this attempt where we don't talk about how do you make songs, how do you make videos, how do you design a house, how do you do all of that, right? I mean, that's given once you have seen the capabilities of the AI currently. So no magical talks, but profound. So with that, I will begin. And any questions you can ask me now. I mean, if anything is there before I begin, you can definitely suggest or ask whatever, right? Also, welcome, Mr. Kamal. Uh, Thank you. And what I'll do is I'll kind of start the presentation, and feel free to actually interrupt if you must. Then you can put your hand and all of that. I mean, if I'm committing a mistake or something, or else we will take it up subsequently. Start presentation. I've done that. Hopefully, it'll give me in few minutes. It will come in front of all of you. And so this is not going to be a total about 40 slides for both the days. And the slides are, some of those are busy slides. So I'll kind of, do the zoom the slide so that you can see it clearly. And what we are going to do is that it will have about first four slides are going to be about the Indian philosophy and how Indian philosophy is ahead of the world as of now. Okay, so I'm waiting for my slides to come up. In the meantime, let me begin. The AI today has demonstrated remarkable functionalities and capabilities, including language generation, pattern recognition, decision making, multimodal perception. However, fundamental limitations remain. And these fundamental limitations are current of the current system is that it lacks intrinsic goal. So it doesn't know where it is trying to take us. Okay. Are you able to see the slides?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. So,
Now we are able to see all the participants, not the slides.
okay. So let me see. It will come, hopefully. Let me stop and start again. Okay. So I'll stop and I'll try to share it one more time. Also, okay. So I am starting it again. Start broadcast, giving count. Okay. And frankly, I actually tried this before starting this session with Harsh and Anilji. Welcome, Rajesh Mehrotra ji.
Thank you, Vipin, Dr. Vipin. But the question is that I hope you get. You got it here. You got it.
Yeah, sure.
You got
I
it.
think technology works ultimately, right?
Does it? Does it? Does it? Does.
All right. So, okay. So, we have seen that the current systems do not have intrinsic goals or unified self model. It doesn't know. Like ChatGPT doesn't know what it is, right? And it also does not know what is the goal of ChatGPT other than capturing data from everybody. Also, it doesn't have the subjective experience. I mean, we'll dwell that on tremendously as we go along. So let me first come to the great Indian philosophy, which has defined. I mean, I was trying to define, and the world is trying to define what is cognition and what is the brain function and how do we do that. And the best definition that I have found is in the Indian literature and different Upanishads and also the Shankaracharya's Tattva Bodha. So what I'll do one by one, I'll bring up. They talk about what are the five, you know, uh, bodies or five seats, as they call it, and of the human being. So there are, we are having five bodies or five identities. So I will zoom. Everybody can see the first one. It is called Annamaya Kosha or Annamaya Kosh. And they say from food, verily, are produced all creatures. Okay. This physical body is the seat of the food. So we call it Annamaya Kosha. It means seat of the food, seat of the food. It means body which is created by food is the first one. Second one is Pranamaya Kosha, which said vital air seat or energy body. This is different from the food body, which is made of food. Okay, and it is another inner self, which is composed of prana or the vital body, vital breath. By that, this is filled. So it is like this entire body is inside the food body, but it is entirely filled by prana or the air or vital air or So we'll see as we go on. And the third thing, which is there is manomaya kosha, mental seat. Okay, different from it is different from the first two, and is made of inner self, which is composed of mind. By that it is filled. Okay, so this is what is the layer which is actually all thoughts and emotions and five senses, all of that actually is coming in this, right? And to keep these sources, what I have attempted to do is that give you the source, not the interpretation, so that you can have your own interpretation subsequently. The fourth one is Vijnanamaya Kosha or intellect seat. Now here is the intellect. First time we are seeing, and this is only the part of this seat that we are able to put in the science as of now. So the seat represent our intellect and wisdom, enabling discrimination, judgment, and self-aware. So right from wrong, left from right, good from bad, all these distinctions are done by the intellect. Okay. Consequently, the discrimination, judgment, and self-awareness is here. So, Vijnanamaya Kosha partly is what we talk about the intelligence, and consequently, the artificial intelligence is even shorter than this. Okay. Next, yeah. Last is Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosh. Okay. So this is the subtlest of all. It is like representing the pure bliss, peace, unconditional joy, and is closest to Atman, as they say. Different from this, which is made, intellect is another inner self, which is composed of bliss, Anandamaya Kosha. So science doesn't even know what is Anandamaya Kosha, what is our self, this is what is the body defined as of now. So this is summarized by the Sankaracharya in Tattva Bodha, and they call it five teeth. Okay, so this is how we know the body. Okay, and this is how we know the intelligence. But here we have a tradition. In fact, we have a tradition in India, Indian philosophy called Neti Neti. Neti Neti means what it is not, and that's how we get into what it is, right? As a interference, right? So here they are saying what we are not. Okay, what it is surprising that we are not, and they say that mano buddhi ankar chittani naham nache sotra jibve nache ghrhan netre nache vyom bhurmen tejo navayu chidanand rupam sivoham sivoham. This is the meaning of this is that we are not the mind nor the intellect or ego, nor neither we are organ of hearing or tasting, smelling or seeing, neither I'm the sky nor earth nor all those five elements, right? And I am never, I am ever pure bliss consciousness. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. Okay, that's what. And I think some of you will know it better, especially I'm sure about Mr. Waklu. So this is coming from the Nirvana Satkam, and in the 8th century philosopher of Adi Sankaracharya again wrote about this. Now let me come to why I'm what they say about intellect or consciousness in it is called Chetana, okay, or Chetan in Sanskrit and Chit in the philosophical terms. So the translation of this in English is generally very poor, like awareness and consciousness. Chaitanya, Chit, Chetna, Vigyan, all those are like, this includes the entire power of self-realization or the Atma and all of that. This is what is the consciousness. It is, and it is not like we are not what we think we are, right? That's what it means. Okay, so only 4 slides are in this line, so put up with me because I have to introduce what Indian, progress that has been made 5,000 years back. It's amazing to see as to what they have said and how advanced was the philosophy of India. So there are Mahavakyas. Okay, Mahavakya means the one which is great sentences which are actually defining the entire the work. Okay. So, and they are coming from different Upanishads. Upanishads are the commentary or the understanding of the Vedas. So, Chandogya Upanishad says, Tattva Vasi means thou art that thou art, or thou art that. It means that referring to the very nature of existence is permeated everywhere, and you are that. So, if you realize yourself, you will be able to realize the everything, right? Second one is from Brihadanyak Upanishad, which is like largest of the Upanishads. It is called Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma, and Brahma is what everything is made of. Okay, and we will use it. Means you will find different versions of this in the current philosophical, deliberations which are going on. Prajnanam Brahma. This is coming from the Atreya Upanishad of Rig Veda, which says that the highest form of wisdom, profound knowledge and intelligence, and the supreme consciousness is what you are. Okay, so that's what Prajnanam Brahma means. With all this put together is what is. Then another Atharva Veda, Atharva Veda says, "I am Atma Brahma. I am myself, self." Is the from the Mandukya Upanishad says, I am Brahma. Okay. Uh, the last one is the Chandogya Upanishad, and it says, all indeed is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Everything is consciousness, pure consciousness. And that's where the deliberations are going right now in the philosophy, in science. And I am amazed to see that these concepts are coming back in the modern science and modern philosophy. And okay, so consequently, the theory of knowledge. How do we actually say something? So what it says is pramata. Pramata is knower, one who wants to know, and pragyan refers to the wisdom, consciousness, and higher knowledge. It is often linked to, which means perfection of the wisdom, transcendental knowledge, or Mahayana in Mahayana Buddhism. So Buddhism also is similar to where they say there is a pramata, means knower, and then they say that there is a gyan, knowledge, and then they say prameya, the object of knowledge. So these are three things which are there, and these three things formulate the knowledge. Okay, so if you remove one, then the entire thing falls apart. Okay, so the prameya, that's how the whole thing. The ultimate prameya, which is the worldly objects, are all known as the prameya. It means the objects which are there. Okay, and there is also concept of aprameya. It means something that is not knowable, that cannot be known by the physical form, and that is what is the Atman is often described as aprameya. So you cannot know. Now I'm done with the philosophy of India, and but I have to uh, talk about the Nagarjuna or Buddhism, how Buddhism sees this, the whole thing. Okay, the Buddhism view is that everything is empty. Okay, sunyam, sunyam, sarvam sunyam. Okay, so in the end analysis, everything is going to be uh, the uh, the sunya. But they say that consciousness is like a sword; it cannot cut itself. So while using consciousness, you learn everything. Okay, these are uh, so that's what happens. And they formulate the different senses differently, which is like your five senses, like eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body and mind. These are all sense elements, including your mind is only a sense element. Okay, the object element is visual form, sound, odor, taste, touch, and mental objects that you formulate. My mental object means thinking and all that. And then is the consciousness. So the where you get the real meaning is the consciousness. Okay. So which is like eye consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. is where you get the meaning. So it is hearing of hearing. It is like, it is, meaning which get derived. It get derived in the consciousness. That's what Buddhist and Indian philosophy put together. Now let me come to the Western, okay, which is a lot easier compared to what you have just now heard. Okay, we are, it's going to be around 4:30, so I will have to quicken. Uh, but what is consciousness? Being awake, aware of one's surrounding thoughts or alerts. Okay, so awareness is what? Knowing or perceiving facts, feelings, and surroundings. Awake is mentally alert. Okay, so you are mentally alert, then they say you are awake. Acting with a purpose or design is intentionality, and self-awareness is ability to be aware of one's own existence and thoughts. Okay, and the word consciousness has the origin from Latin, the conscious, which means knowing or putting together. Okay, uh, as you can see, the early usage were in 17th century, and subsequently evolution continued. So by 1600, it shifted to knowing with the oneself. Okay, knowing, and that's what is the meaning of consciousness in Western world, Western philosophy. Now, let me come to a concept. Unless it is becoming monologue, you can stop me, Anil. Uh, and I can do a little bit of interaction. But otherwise, in the philosophy of mind, there is a concept of qualia, and it is very interesting. Okay, it defines that you do not know, you cannot describe certain things, but each one of us know. But it is called subjective or conscious experience because it cannot be described. Okay, and it comes from the Latin word qualis, the redness of red. Redness of red. How do you explain in words? It's experiential in nature. Pain or a headache. You would have seen some jokes about the Haryana doctor and patient dialogue. Okay, धुआंसा out hai. So I mean these are because there's no proper way of describing the pain. Okay, the taste of wine. I mean, these are all the experience of these subjective experiences called qualia, okay, in the philosophy. So all of us have qualia. Now, I have used so many different words in English, and they are, and still they do not describe the way Indian philosophy describes. Okay, so the first one is liveliness. We say if you are conscious, it means you are lively. It means the biological function. So liveliness is a biological function. It's plant, bacteria, animal, and related to the metabolism. So that is what is liveliness. Awareness. It's perception of a stimuli. If you see something and something strikes you in thought or in physical form, then it is like it is awareness. Okay. The key capability here is reaction. So something that can react is aware. Then comes the sentience. Now, sentience is a subjective feeling. Subjective feeling means touch and all these kind of pains and pleasures. All of these are sentience. And finally, the consciousness is cognitive processing. Okay, it means that you are able to derive the meaning. You are able to derive the. So mostly, it is believed that consciousness is actually the humans have very evolved consciousness. And then there are ways, in the Western philosophy and science also. I think they are saying there is something called panpsychism. Now, pan is like everywhere, and psychism is mind. So they say that awareness is everywhere. Everywhere means like how we say in Hindi, "Kan kan mein Bhagwan." That's a kan kan mein every atom, everything is actually having the mind of its own, but the degree varies. That's what they say. That is what is panpsychism. And panpsychism is not liked by the scientists because it just throws a wrench in the entire science. But it is something that people are using. Okay. So the challenge of measuring sentience, what are the first person phenomena? The sentience is inherently first person phenomena due to subjective nature and lack of empirical definitions. Directly measuring it may be not possible. Okay, so what happens is that the phenomena actually you derive and you understand it, but complete phenomena description is a little difficult. Then comes the hard problem of consciousness. This is David Chalmers in the NYU, who is the professor of philosophy, is in the vogue right now. He is like almost everywhere, wherever you talk about consciousness, they will talk about David Chalmers. And David Chalmers has actually brought about that we don't know the true sentience. It means the consciousness is not describing object, but how do you feel about it? And that's what is very difficult to define. It's a hard problem. How it gets generated in the brain, and we are going to talk about some of the brain models today. Okay, uh, and consequently, AI has a unique hurdle. It does not have the first person experience. It has got objective experience and not subjective appearance. It has got sentience, all of that, but doesn't feel. It reads, but it do not necessarily understand the profound meaning. Especially, Mr. Madan, he was talking to me, how would you define the AI? I said, humans can actually understand without really having even a single, dialogue. I know. Okay, you would have heard about the share of Mirza Ghalib. कासिद के आते आते खत एक और लिख रखूं मुझको पता है क्या वो लिखेंगे जवाब में. So I already know, pretty much that's what, without words, without actually, we understand a lot of things. And this is because of the consciousness within us, which understands the meanings pretty well. Okay. So why these questions matter? Okay. In the current paradigm, the rapid progress in AI has revived the question about the machine consciousness. We want to make machine conscious. Okay. That's what is our aim finally. So it can analyze, it can find out, it can see the patterns, it can predict the next sentence, it can predict what you are going to paint next time, it can write music, but it does not have the consciousness as of now, and that's the biggest challenge. And whether it's going to have, we'll dwell it tomorrow probably. The system now displays the language, reasoning, planning, and autonomy. Okay, that all which is there. Reasoning they're able to do because reasoning is not necessarily related to the experience. It is related to true or false, or right or wrong, or it is related to more or less. These are all objective phenomena. Anything which is measured in objects is something that AI is good at this point in time, and figuring out the patterns and stuff like that. Okay, that's why these question matters. Why it matters? Can the machine become conscious? Okay, and the answer of this we'll see tomorrow, not today. But the question is still there. Okay, so AI and computational uh, uh, approaches. What it means is, see, what has happened is that we found a great deal of success in terms of actually using computers and making them work very hard. And that was based on starting from Boolean logic. And now, those who have attended my quantum class, you will understand that quantum computing, how it is kind of changing the whole thing. But that's our basic fundamental, computational models have not gone through a major change. What it means is that we still have the Turing machine architecture, of the understanding symbols and manipulating symbols. And we still have the von Neumann architecture, which is like a, storing and processing and forwarding, all of those kind of a thing, right? And that's what we have built by tremendous amount of miniaturization capability we have. And then on top of it, we wrote the software tools. So that's where the AI computational approaches is what people are hoping will do that, right? Uh, so I will probably take one more slide and then we will open up for the question and answer. As you know, Anil suggested that we will have the question and answer and also after this session. And also you can decide subsequently whether you want to attend tomorrow or not, right? So consequently, what I'll do is I'll introduce the some of the things that we are going to do tomorrow in the end, so that if you have not, you have some interest, then you can also join tomorrow. Okay. So the recent advances in AI, in area of deep learning and the large language models, especially large language models. I think AI has existed for more than my age and probably more than most of some of us total age. But it went through a different things to different people and decision support systems and neural networks based analytics and inferences. All of those have been actually around for quite some time. But then it went into a AI winter. What it means is that nothing much was happening. People were simply fed up with the incapability of the overall concepts, and then subsequently. But what has happened suddenly? We have this large language model which has changed the whole thing. So it can talk to you like a human being, right? And it understands the sentences and it understands what will come after this. And it understands as to how tokenization happens. It is able to transform the sentence. It is able to pick up and learn. I mean, now learning within the objective framework. Okay. And they then are able to converse with you and beat you in your own capability and comprehension. And this has happened, and this is all based on the deep neural networks which are there. I mean, these are all, what are neural networks? We'll see tomorrow, right? What it constitutes of and how it works and all that, and what are the gray matter, what is white matter. Okay, I will introduce that, but more we'll do tomorrow. Okay, the reinforcement learning which came about where the errors were generated and the systems learn because of the error. Okay, so like in a sentence, I will have a word missing, and you have to guess, and then again complete the sentence. That's how the large language model learning is happening. Okay, then also the multimodal system, it means that now we are getting into multimodal, and then multimodal means you have the data and text and image and audio, and underlying assumption is that it is sufficiently computational complexity to handle all of those, stitch them together. However, these are sophisticated systems are primarily designed to explain, not the subjective experience. Okay, so we will touch upon, because it's going to be 4:20. So in another 2 minutes, I will kind of complete the today's session. Hopefully, the human brain, what it is. It is like 86 billion nerve cells, neurons, 86 billion, and equal number of neuronal glial cells, means the supporting cells. These are the ones which give nourishments and provide the chemicals which are required for neurons to transmit. So this is a game of about 86 billion. All of us have these nodes, and the weight is around 3 pounds. Okay. Uh, Evolving from 1 pound at birth to 2 pound in the childhood, weight varies, individual sex and body sizes. They say that male have larger brain. But I don't know really, right? But coming back, I think the important thing is that it's not a very heavy stuff. We keep lifting it almost throughout our life without really being bothered about it. Okay. And then it has got gray matter, which is like it's a crucial for daily functions like muscle control, sensory and emotions and memory and speech. And the white matter facilitates signal transmission across the central nervous system, acting as the brain connections tissues. Okay, so the white matter is you can we can equate it with the optical fiber communication that happens across the nodes, and gray matter we can usually say these are the switches or the computation elements. Okay, within that. So this is what human brain is kind of constituting, and this is what the deep neural network is actually consisting of all of these. Uh, and the important thing is consciousness conundrum means complex architectures or large number of compute node is not generating the subjective experience. The impressive capability of the deep neural network do not inherently imply the consciousness. Okay, so those who are interested, it has got multiple layers of the brain. Okay, including white matter, gray matter, I mean, the gray matter and white matter, which we discussed. Also, the layers to protect the whole thing, and somebody else from the medical science will know better than me. So, but it has got the frontal lobes and it has got the occipital and temporal lobes, and so there are three fundamental things: cerebrum, okay, cerebellum, and brainstem. These are the things which are like shown here. Okay, so this is how, and it is amazing how the brain is able to do so much. We require giga watt AI data centers to do simple computation required for the text processing and all of that. But this is 3 kgs or 5 kgs brain is able to do much more than that, that even now they are not able to match. Okay. So there are different layers of the neurons which are there, they are not like flat and stuff. And there are hidden layers, and that's where the learning actually remains. So with this, I would actually like to close. What do you say, Anil?
I think it is a very heavy subject, Vipin,
Yes,
and
yes,
people have actually gone into the spiritual side and understanding how the AI can actually connect with the Indian ethos. So let the people think what you have said, and let us listen. I think we can learn more with the queries and answers.
I'm
So
sure.
one by one, we can pick up. We have several hands with us. So
I'm
let us
glad.
start with the NK Mathur. Mathur Sahab has raised his hand for the first time. I was able to locate. So I hand over first mic to Mr. NK Mathur. Mathur sir.
So let me stop first,
Yeah.
try to stop it, okay? If I hope stop, right?
Madhur Saab, you are muted. Please
माइक
unmute
अनम्यूट
yourself.
करें, माइक
Please
अनम्यूट करें.
unmute.
थोड़ा
Please
हैवी है,
unmute
मैं
yourself.
जानता हूँ इस बात को.
Now
मैंने
I'm
पहले, हाँ
now
बताइए सर.
audible.
यस सर.
Artificial intelligence, as we all know, depends mainly on computational logic, and the brain is able to think of not only computational logic but also consciousness. The time gap between consciousness and computational logic, how is that utilized?
Right. So the question, if I have understood, sir, is that how can computational capability generate the consciousness? Is that the question?
Generate, no, it is one side, and consciousness is one side. It generates. Yeah, you are right. It generates, but there is a time gap. There is a silence.
I think, I will tell you what scientists think about this. Okay. So there are two people who are there. One is that they understand, people think that if there is enough computation, then automatically you will have the consciousness emerging from the matter or computation. So they believe that since we are not having enough capability to put the enough computation and enough memory and enough abilities, consequently we don't have. And if we reach a particular level, it will automatically emerge. There are one school of thought. Okay. Then second school of thought is they say that it is not an emergent phenomena. You will never get consciousness. Okay, the computers will never become conscious because consciousness is not emergent phenomena.
Yeah.
And we are going to dwell that tomorrow sometime, a little bit in detail. So consequently, computation cannot generate the consciousness. Consequently, the computers or the AI can never become conscious. Now, these are two views. Then there are philosophers' views, and we'll touch some of those tomorrow. But that's what people are saying. They may be right or wrong. We don't know as of now. But there are very, very strong views and publications around that. Okay, next.
Yeah,
Sir,
Vipin,
I
thank
am
you.
leaving the meeting. I
Vipin,
have
thank
put
you.
something
Yeah.
in the chat box. Thank you.
Right, right, Vijayji. I'll read out that also. Now the next in the queue is Mr. Pavan Garg, over
Garg
immediate
Sahab,
past
namaskar.
president.
Namaskar, Vipinji, and thank you so much for your, I would say, linking the AI with our old philosophy, Indian philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, and also trying to compare with the Western philosophy. And thank you so much for that. I have a question that, because you have done a lot of study on this, is any research or development work going on for the Indian philosophy to be converted into or to be linked with the artificial intelligence? Because from my point of view, the one very critical issue of is the ethical AI, and on contrary, the misuse of AI for not so good purposes. So if we can develop the AI with by linking it with our Indian old philosophy, perhaps we can try to avoid the pitfalls of non-ethical use of AI. So if you can kindly refer to, or maybe today or maybe in your next part of the webinar tomorrow, about the developments or the research going on about the AI linked to our Indian philosophy.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Let me tell you one thing. I have attempted it and I have figured it out to some extent. But one thing is, my view on that is that unless we have the consciousness in AI, it will very difficult for it to actually be ethical, because it is very difficult for us to put the our feelings and others' feelings and the universe feelings into a rule set which will be complied by the. For example, there was a war. There is a war going on right now, and the AI was given a task of finding out the target and hitting the targets and all of that. And they actually killed the kids because they did not know whether they are kids, and if you kill the kids, what happens? They never been kids. All of these AIs. That's why it is important for all of us to really understand that it is going to be so much more hard unless we are able to have the consciousness implemented in the AI in one way or the other, or the audit by a human who can feel and touch and all of that. Once we have the AI which is conscious, then the things will become very difficult and different level of issues will come up. Okay, and we will discuss that tomorrow as to what kind of issues will come up if they become the conscious, the AI becomes conscious. Then what will happen? What will be good and what is the bad? Like ethics part we talked about, but there are so many people who are conscious in this world. but still they do bad things. Only thing they know that they are doing bad things. As Muhammad Saab said, जो दिल में खटके वो पाप है. Okay, very simple definition, right? तो उनका दिल ही नहीं है तो क्या खटकेगा बताइएगा आप. तो सवाल ये उठता है कि फीलिंग नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है तो क्या होगा बताइएगा. तो ये इसलिए थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है. बट नेवरदलेस, having said that, lawyers, I was IEEE, the ethics committee of the, and lawyers still are able to do a good overall job, but not comprehensive. Okay, that's what I mean. Second, so I am not aware of anybody doing the work in AI based on the Indian system. I am probably had this longing for quite some time, years together. And now I have come out and then kind of, presented to everybody. I mean, this itself is so deep. I think Indian philosophy is ocean. An ocean so big that it answers almost every plausible question and experience that one can have anywhere. And within the cognitive world and outside the cognitive world and within the universe and outside the universes and the lokas and multiple of those. So all that, it's like a big ocean from which we have to bring out few subtle AI-oriented, feelings which we have to put together and make sure that it becomes useful for the humankind, conscious humankind. That's what I feel. But a lot of work to be done. And I would say that, we should just start doing that one way or the other, like how I have done. Last 4 or 5 years, I've been working on this particular topic. And consequently, more and more people are required to assert the Indian systems as opposed to simply reading. And that's what pained me. And that's what prompted me to take this class, is we are praising the work done by the Westerners, especially in intellect and consciousness, where we have the ocean available with us. And we are looking for drops from Western world, right? Rakesh ji, welcome at right point.
Right,
Okay.
Vipin. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Vipin.
Thank you very much. Now, next is Vimal Vaklu ji. Vimal ji.
Sir, namaskar, Vipul ji.
Namaskar, Vipin ji. Very interesting session, and I'm happy that you started with the Indian philosophy and related to this particular subject. This is my favorite subject as well.
I know.
Now, in the recent AI Summit event that happened here, you might be aware that there was one a particular platform, Samarpan. My request to you is maybe you could also sort of look at a collaboration with them, because their basic goal, discussing with their people, was that first you have to unearth the complete Indian philosophy. For that, they have developed models which can convert all those manuscripts into live documents, which can be implemented on the AI platform. So that is the starting point, the ab initio. So I feel there is a huge scope for collaboration in this. And since you have already worked for 4 or 5 years, I think there is a huge potential in this country for having our own AI system, which will be based on our ethics, our philosophy, because I don't think that consciousness can enter into the AI domain as such, except through the human beings who are already having a consciousness, awareness. They do it not with a purpose of harming somebody, but being completely neutral, being completely, in tune with the Indian philosophy. So I have a lot of hope there. Now, you mentioned about this consciousness being in the brain and how, but on the lighter side, I just wanted to check up. There are a lot of stories from Rajasthan which say that when there was an onslaught from the West, there were some great fighters who fought till the end. And when their heads were chopped off also, they fought still. What was it that was making them fight? If consciousness is only in the head? That's my question.
Right. I think, Vimalji, I think I appreciate all three comments that you have made. Number one is that we need to have our own way of doing it. The trouble is that once we get into our own domain of religion and the thinking and the philosophy of India, we do not come back to science. We don't make it palatable to science. We do not make it concretized in a way that both sides will agree. And science is something, it believes only if it can be repeated, it can be modeled in mathematics, and it can be proven by anybody, third party, not only you. So, see, there has been very little attempt in terms of understanding. There's a lot of attempt which is there in understanding, in translating, and also making it available to everybody as it is, or the interpretation of it. So much of Bhashya has been written everywhere that but we never thought that we'll have AI and we will be able to have the consciousness emerged and based on our Indian darshan or philosophy. And philosophy is only one part of the whole puzzle. Philosophy is not the whole thing. Philosophy gives us the hypothesis. We need to understand the brain science, where we know what happens in the brain consequent upon the consciousness emerging. We have to understand what happens in physics as to how the fluid flow changes in the brain. We have to understand the medicine where we know as to which all part of the brain actually lighten up. We are going to discuss some of this tomorrow. So I appreciate and I understand, but very little work has been done. And, it requires people who are committed because up till now, it was said in the science community, if you want to commit suicide, go and work on consciousness. Okay, it is the end of your career. Okay.
I mean,
Vimal,
I understand the time is limited. Maybe we can have a discussion tomorrow because your answers have given rise to many more questions.
I'm sure.
Yes.
thank you. Vipin, now we are at the top of the hour, but we have 5 more hands which are
I will like
required
to
be
take
answered.
everybody.
So we would like to at least cover all these 5. So I take permission from all the audience to extend the session by 10 minutes. And I request all the people to raise their hand, be very brief in asking question. And similarly, Vipin, let us try to complete this job. So next in the line is the colorful Professor Rajesh Mehrotra.
Oh, namaskar, Mehrotra sahab.
Namaskar, good evening to everybody. And Vipinji, you've done a great job. The only thing is that I am not a professor. I was one. But anyway, let me come to the question. The word consciousness seems to be in the mind of everyone. And I was very happy when you talked about it. And it seems to me that the whole foundation of AI is built on it. However, if you recall, in the year 2024, if I'm right, there was a Nobel Prize awarded to 3 people that talked about, or they gave a demonstration of the quantum entanglement. Now, the quantum entanglement is something that made people, or these 3 physicists and scientists, prove by way of an experiment that, well, when you have the consciousness, the world exists. When you don't have the consciousness, the world is over. And then they also said that the quantum entanglement takes place between one end of the universe to the other. Therefore, there is no way you can say that the universe exists because it's all virtual. Anyway, I'm not questioning these things, but my question to you is, first of all, who discovered quantum entanglement and when? How far back? And is it being considered as a basic block for the AI? Is quantum entanglement something that is going to decide in future as to what consciousness is all going to be about? Thank you.
All right, very, very profound question. Anilji, I had to break a little bit of a rule. So what happens is that, first of all, you were in my class of quantum technology, so I am at ease with what you're saying. It is like 1800 something. There was a big conference where Schrodinger's cat was introduced, and double slit experiment came about, and that's big. And also Richard Feynman of the United States actually brought about the concept of computation, which can be done by based on the quantum properties. And quantum properties included all three, and particularly if we come to quantum entanglement, that is what is the most amazing out of all the things that we have seen. There is a wave, probability wave, which is universal probability wave. It is not a localized wave. Also, every electron anywhere in the universe, known and unknown, is same in properties. How come? Okay, how is that even in Mars and Jupiter and Sun and anywhere else, the electron remains electrons and it rotates. Similarly, the entanglement happens. It depends. They have to be at same point at some point in time to get entangled. And once that has been done, it actually can travel only at the speed of light. So the 43.6 billion years of, of the light travel is what will be required. Consequently, there is a limit of entanglement because of the speed of light, because photon is by far the most speedy stuff that we know. So now that becomes one part of the whole answer. Second one is, will the quantum entanglement necessary for consciousness explanation? Answer is no. The computation can happen one way or the other, but what will happen? I mean, this is like the subjective and objective interpretation that we are talking about. Actually, the subjective interpretation of brain forming the consciousness requires quantum computing, quantum phenomena. It means that since I'm not able to understand how the whole thing comes together, different part of the brain, how they come together. With these neurons, they are separate, but how they become one and suddenly give me the whole experience that I have, maybe one candidate that will require us to have the entanglement of the quantum at some point in some places like microtubules in the brain. Okay, so that's what my answer is. That not on the consciousness side, but on the objective side, we might require quantum computing to explain to us as to how it happens. Okay, next.
So it appears to me that it is going to be a long session. We have to arrange another 2-3 sessions, Vipin, to answer all the queries.
Right. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
next in the line is Mr. K.K. Minocha. I request Minocha ji to kindly take the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Excellent, Vinji. You have awakened our HI. And the question that arose from your conversation was, one is that, of course, I understand starting point is the brain. So brain has so many properties, though you mentioned some of them, gray matter, etc. The one is the chemicals and the glands we have. Which give us some glands give us pineal glands, some give us happiness. I'm not remembering the names of those centers. Some give us happiness, some give us sadness. And a few, I think 2-3 days back we attended one. Our DCIF seminar. One of the judge there when we were discussing this digital arrest wala seminar, ki Navras. So and then the unique personality of the human beings. Each one of us have unique. You are unique, I am unique, and everybody here is unique. So that uniqueness, how it will be imparted, or it will be artificially imparted. Now we say it's a gift of the God. So these are the questions that have arisen in my mind. So that is all. And compute power, the compute power required would also need huge storage and huge bandwidth and huge sensory power, etc., blah, blah. And then brain works at 85 or I don't know, 45 watts or 60 watts, whatever energy. And then I don't know, whole world's energy may exhaust, even if you have the quantum compute. I don't know how much quantum compute will hog the power, and cooling it would water. So seems something going against the nature. I mean, we love to do it. That's all.
All right, good. I think 2-3 points that you have done. I can answer from the philosophical point first as to why, and then another one from the scientific community where they're going as of now, and the third one will be purely from computation perspective. So the whole issue is, number one, all of us are having the same qualia. Okay, I explained the qualia. It means green is same as green for other than if you're colorblind. Okay. The taste may be varying depending upon taste buds, but fundamentally it is the same. So the qualia is believed to be the similar, not the same. Okay. The second part is that I have mentioned some properties. In fact, brain is very simple. And that's what it is. It is like nothing but switches and connections. That's how it is. And the signaling happens through the chemicals. So it is, nobody says it's very complicated. But from the simple machine, we are able to do impossible things, right? So, and that's where the consciousness, hard problem of consciousness emerges, as to we are able to really find out so much with this simple machine. But this is subjective view of the entire thing. So what happens? Now, let me come to the Indian philosophical way and then Western philosophical. In the philosophical way is that in our every part of our body, every part, I mean DNA, as people say, every part of our body, even if one hand is gone, we remain the same. If legs are gone, we remain the same. What is that remains the same? Is what is collected over births, many births, and passed on from father to son to grandson and all of that. Those DNA actually continues with us. They always remain, and that's what formulates a uniqueness in every human being. Because of the learning that we go through, we come from different paths, we come from different thinking. Each time when we are thinking, we are also developing a new changes. Okay, in the overall, the paradigm of the things. Okay, so that's number one. That we believe that our DNA get passed on from. NK Srivastaji, you can leave and then join tomorrow. Okay. So coming back, I think it's important. Thirdly, I think we do not think we are body. So what are we talking about? So anything related to body is not us. We are not inside the body. But scientists will oppose it vehemently. They will say, no, we are the body and nothing else. I don't see any evidence of any transmission happening from outside. So what is this Atma? It is only for you guys, right? It's all brain construct. At the same time, I think this mystery of consciousness will take us close to reality. That's what I hope, and that's what I believe. And this is what is required to be done by us. Okay, eventually.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Vipin
you.
ji. Next is Mr. Prasanna ji. He is the managing director of a company called Ariswara. Prasanna ji, floor is yours.
Sir, please open your
Please
video
open
if you
your
can.
video also. Please open your camera. Yeah, Prasanna ji,
Namaskar.
please.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I think let me begin by complimenting Vipin ji for discussing such a wonderful topic, especially when the talks are going on that the AI is going to replace the human beings, especially in the jobs. Now, you have very beautifully explained the philosophy and then the limitations of the AI in terms of consciousness. My question is the consciousness, when you talk about, the consciousness is also varies among the human beings. So, for example, if you take the example of, say, the war which is going on, people will have a different opinion based on their own consciousness. And these are the data inputs to the computational work, which are going to be used in the AI at a later stage. So my understanding, with the little understanding that I have on the AI, is that whenever I have to search something, I type it and then I do the search on the AI and it gives the results. Now the results are based on whatever data is available. They do the computation and it produces you the certain things. So that is the limited understanding that I have. So based on the different consciousness, if the data are generated and being utilized by the AI, to what extent we can put our confidence level that the decision making based on these AI data will be correct, or because the people have a very varied consciousness, and depending on that, the data is all floated across the internet, and from there the result is coming out. So maybe what is relevant to us based on the Indian philosophy, probably we may find correct, but at the same time with the philosophy of other parts of the world, which is not in line with our philosophy, then for them the AI result would be different. So in a globalized era, how this challenge can be seen?
Right. Sure.
That is my concern.
Right. So here we are, what consciousness we are talking about here is the property of the human being to have an experience which is subjective in nature. So I would argue that people who do it, bad things or wars, they already know what they are doing. Okay, so it is not so, but they have the properties which they have developed, like ego, or there are so many things, mud, moh, I mean, what we define in Indian. They have taken the front seat, and the experience that they got in the past about people dying, about the pain that people suffer, has taken a back seat. So nobody can teach anybody just because he is conscious a behavior which is good. That requires, as I said, is the self-correction, self-understanding, and ability to do the right things. Even I said conscious people also do such a bad thing in the world. So this is only an ability of the human being to experience things. What do they do after that experiencing is up to them, for each individual. Now, what we can do with the Indian philosophy, we can not only teach them the AI as to how to bring about the consciousness in their capabilities, if at all we can. And there are efforts which are going on. I'm going to talk about some of those tomorrow. The science part is more going to be tomorrow. Okay, but we have to also teach them the philosophy that what you experience, like Anguli Mal, he was killing, hundreds of people or thousands of people, putting a garland in there, and Buddha went there and then changed it completely. So there is still always going to be need for Buddha. There's always going to be need for people who can actually make you utilize your consciousness to reach to the right conclusions. That's what I think.
Thank you, Vipin.
Thank you.
The next in the line was Lokesh Madan. Lokesh raised his hand and then he shut down the hand also. Lokesh, still, if you want to ask the question, yeah, please, you are welcome.
I think he has left.
No,
Lokesh is
I'm
there.
still there.
Okay,
Lokesh
Lokesh
is
is
very
there.
much
Okay,
here.
Lokesh, namaskar.
It's not a
Sorry.
question. So whatever wisdom you have given, I tried to put it in a chat GPT, and I got examples with analogy, which was surprising for me. I think this is happening with the Indian LLMs already in place. Now they are also upgrading their own LLMs, like chat GPT did. If I put the same thing on Mixtral, I might not get those answers with analogy. So every LLM is behaving differently. As far as my experience is concerned, personal, I have been using these models from last almost 2 years. Like 5G, 2 years back when I used to ask questions on 5G, the answers were very funny, not related to the theory. Now most of the answers are correct because LLMs are developing themselves along with the knowledge. The same thing happening here. With Bharat GPT, Bharat Gen, Sarvam AI, everything in place, they are also learning.
Yes, I think,
what we used to call brain drain in 80s and 90s, now it is happening virtually.
right. So, Lokesh, you're right. Absolutely. I think a lot of work is going on, but the work on consciousness, induction in the overall AI is what I'm talking about. I think, LLMs are different, and also medical science requires the different models, and the models are different for most of the businesses, like you very rightly said, sir. But the consciousness bringing to the machines is something that is still far away dream for all of us. But whether it will happen, sometime I get really optimistic when I listen to the scientists and what they're doing. At other times, I really feel that it's going to be so hard for us to model the consciousness. We don't even know what it is. We are not able to reproduce, So, but as an engineer, I have seen so many unexplained things being utilized and when made machines out of them, right? This is not going to be different, right? Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Lokesh ji. Thank you. Now the last in the queue is Rakesh Mehrotra ji. Rakesh ji, floor is yours now.
सर आप अपना वीडियो भी ऑन कर लीजिएगा.
राकेश जी.
राकेश जी के क्वेश्चन जो होते हैं ना
वो
मैं अच्छे से समझता हूँ.
Unmute yourself and put your camera on.
Let me try, sir. Give access. Okay. Is it okay now?
Now we are not able to see you, but we are able to hear you.
Yeah,
Yes,
now you
we
can.
are able to see you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
विपिन जी नमस्ते.
नमस्ते भाई, बहुत दिनों बाद नजर आ रहे हैं आप. हाँ.
और आप सब अनिल जी का और सभी लोगों का धन्यवाद फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग.
आप थोड़ा लेट ज्वाइन किया. लेट मी स्टार्ट विद द कंप्लेंट. ये आपकी आदत है क्या?
नहीं, वो असल में एक मीटिंग के अंदर बिजी था, उसमें फंसा हुआ था. जैसे वो सज्जन यहाँ से गए, देन आई स्टार्टेड. द सेकंड फेलो इज गोइंग टू कम. एनीहाउ, मुझे गर्ग साहब ने कहा कि छोटा बोला करो, ज्यादा नहीं बोला करो.
कल भी आएंगे आप? कल भी आएंगे?
छोटा ही बोल रहा हूँ कि ये मैंने सुना नहीं है पूरा वीडियो आपका, तो इसलिए अगर इसको आज लाइन पे आप डाल दें तो मैं कल तैयार रहूंगा आपसे बात करने के लिए.
नहीं, मैं आपको राकेश जी पहले बताऊंगा कि ये हम YouTube पे डालेंगे दोनों सेशन जब कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे तब, क्योंकि ये जो है इट इज नॉट पार्ट्स, it is an integrated one. Today, Vipin has talked about the philosophy, how the Indian philosophy has to come with AI. And tomorrow he's going to complement this talk with the technical aspect of AI. So I think it is suggested that if we are able to bring it together. Rest, of course, depend on Vipin, what he want to say.
विपिन जी, मुझे आज क्या अगर मिल जाए तो थोड़ा समझ लूंगा.
हाँ, ये मैंने वो डाला हुआ, जरा पढ़ लीजिएगा. फाइनल फ्रंटियर्स ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस टॉक आउटलाइन. कहाँ पे है बताइए? ये अपना ग्रुप पे है.
या थोड़ा पूरा डिटेल दे तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहता.
यानी पीडीएफ है, पढ़ के तो देखिएगा, आपको तुरंत समझ में आ जाएगा मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ.
इतनी अकल नहीं है,
भेज दूंगा.
और नहीं तो कल बात करेंगे,
पढ़ लूंगा मैं. आपको भेज देंगे तो पढ़ लूंगा. देन आई विल इंटरेक्ट टुमारो.
आपके पास में है सर वो ग्रुप में, आप जाइएगा, लॉगिन करिएगा, डॉक्यूमेंट देखिएगा, पीडीएफ है.
चलिए मैं देखता हूँ उसको.
मैंने पहले इसलिए डाला था कि लोग पढ़ सके, थोड़ा सा कुछ बना सके.
नहीं, मैं उसको देख के फिर टुनाइट.
हाँ श्योर सर, यू कैन ऑलवेज कॉल मी. आप तो हमारे ऊपर कंट्रोल है आपका ना.
नहीं सर, हम तो सबसे नीचे बैठे हैं, जो कहता है चुप हो जाओ, बैठ जाओ, हम बैठ जाते हैं.
वो सबसे समझदार वही होता है. चलिए ओके, पर टाइम से आएंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Thank you, Vipin. Vipin, there is a question in the chat by Vijay Madan. Before leaving this session, he left it. His question is, does the trained machine think when silent or so-called in half sleep? Human think even when silent. Does it meditate also?
I did not understand the question, so maybe I'll answer tomorrow.
Let me again repeat. As when we are sleeping, Vipin, our mind continue to work. Is the machine also likely to work when they are in sleep mode?
Correct.
This is question number one. Question number two is that we are able to meditate, right, to attain the consciousness which we are talking. Is we expect machine also to meditate in future?
I see. Okay, let me answer both the questions. Okay, the first one is, do machines actually, when they're sleeping, Do they do the job? I think, AI machine never sleeps. I asked this from AI and he said, good luck, right? You are human, you have to sleep. I don't. Okay. So what they do when they are not answering questions, they actually learn. And what they do is that they have large data set, which is they tokenize going on. And then what happens is that they learn by having the missing words or missing concepts, and then they try to fulfill that and then verify with the data, right? It's like, they have both the data, the correct one and the missing one. So they actually do the job and then try to compare with that all the time. And that's what makes them smarter. Also, they continue to expand their universe by more and more data. And also new data which is coming, like new research papers and all of that. They try to actually do that all the time. That is one worrying thing, is that they are 24/7 all the time actually working. And we are working only 8 hours or 10 hours, and we have to do so many things. That is the difference. So first answer is that. Second one is the meditation, right? Actually, when we meditate, a particular part of our mind get lightened. So it's like you have the activity there, a contemplation, the meditation, thinking about yourself. The moment we do, a particular part of our brain actually lights up. This is like physical phenomena. Tomorrow, I'm going to explain the mechanism. And can we call that meditation, thinking about yourself? No. So what is there is that we actually have the way of thinking about thinking. So do they think about thinking? Actually, they don't. They don't know what is meditation. They will tell you, but they don't feel the meditation. For meditation to become meditation, somebody has to feel something, which is like a conscious activity. So I would argue that machines do not meditate.
All right. Thank you very much. Lokesh has also sent a link. I request hers to kindly send that link to all the participants, including Vipin, so that we can have further discussions tomorrow. It is a very lively session. It has gone virtually 1.5 hours. And now we are coming to the end, but I am able to see hand of Rakesh Mehrotra ji. It was an old hand.
No, sir, it's a new one. It's a new
He's
one.
an old
It's a
hand
new
anyway.
one, so please go ahead, sir.
Old guy, new hand.
Okay.
Now,
Nahin. Sir,
the thing is that tomorrow,
sir, you are a young guy, new hand.
No, sir, I'm old person. First
Please go
life
ahead,
used
sir.
one. First life
Please go
used
ahead,
one.
sir.
Acha, now the thing is that what I'm saying, that tomorrow's session, let's keep it not for 1 hour. It should be extended for 2 hours, 2.5. As long as we can sustain it. So we can
I
have
think
full
what
discussion to work it
we
out.
can do, we can have another one.
Rakesh ji, what I take your suggestion very well, and we will try to extend on the demand of the people till all the queries get exhausted.
Yeah, till we
Thank
get
you.
exhausted. Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Next, of course, I am able to see a hand of Kuldeep Goyal sir also. Sir, floor is yours. Kuldeep
Kuldeep ji,
Goyal sir,
namaskar.
please unmute yourself. Kuldeep Goyal sir, please unmute yourself.
I had never seen so many questions in 1 hour.
Yes. Kuldeep Goyal sir, in case you are still there, please unmute yourself. I think, yes, now is there. Sir, please go ahead. Sir, please. Floor is yours.
You mentioned that you have put it on the group, but I don't find it on DCIF group.
Sir, again, I'll send it. It was in group only. I'll again send it, the content.
Okay, I think it needs to be gone through again. In one presentation, we couldn't grasp everything. So probably we need to.
Always, sir. At your command. आप राकेश मेहरोत्रा सर पे गला दीजिए, मैं कर दूंगा.
Thank you. Thank you, Vipin, and very interactive session. It has brought
मैं विपिन
new
सर को
thoughts.
ये बोलना चाहता हूँ, विपिन जी को, सॉरी इंटरप्ट कर रहे हैं, कि जो क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ रहे हैं उनको ये आप मान के चलिए कि उनके थोड़ा थोड़ा ऊपर से ही चला गया बहुत, तो वो आज जाके फिर से उसको रिकैप्चुलेट करने की कोशिश करें कि क्या उन्होंने सुना, तो फिर शायद कल क्वेश्चन जनरेट होगा उनके
बिल्कुल
माइंड
कर
में।
लेंगे, जैसा सजेस्ट करेंगे भाई।
चलिए,
अनिल जी
anyway,
जैसा सजेस्ट करेंगे वैसा कर लेंगे।
tomorrow again we are going to meet at 4 o'clock. I request all of you to join at 3:55 so that we can start the session sharp at 4 o'clock. And as Rakesh Mehrotra ji has suggested, I request Vipin ji to answer all the queries without anybody left out. Finally, now I request our General Secretary Ravinder Kumar Mishra ji to please propose a vote of thanks.
Anil, can I ask a feedback from Atul Kumar because he has not shown it, Atul Kumar ji, please on करिएगा your camera.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Oh, okay, Atul Gupta. Okay, great.
You are asking about someone else, sir?
No, I was asking about you only.
Oh.
The greatest optical fiber scientist in the country. Okay, thank you.
No, sir, whatever I learned is from you only, sir.
Okay, right.
So it
Thank
was
you.
very informative session, but I don't have a question right now. But I feel, sir, you mentioned that about the consciousness part, there are two aspects. I mean, two schools of thoughts. I think that it may not be really possible to have AI develop consciousness. That's what the second option you were suggesting. So do you agree with that, sir, or you feel that
at this point, that's what the reason for that is not that it doesn't have capability. Reason for that is we don't know really what it is actually and how it happens. So this is early stage. But to I would say I would agree with you, your assessment, but not forever.
Sir, but can increasing computational power lead to consciousness?
With the quantum computing and entanglement.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we are going to talk about how we scientists view that it happens. Okay, so scientists' view will be taken up tomorrow, where let me give you the brief of that. It's all done by the patterns of the brain.
Sir, but unless it develops consciousness, don't you think that AI will ultimately start harming human beings?
Absolutely right, you are. Everything you say is right. Absolutely. Right.
All right, so I think we can have more discussion with Atulji tomorrow. And I think it is a very interesting question which Atul has asked, and we should try to get answer from Vipinji or maybe our own. Vipinji has given a good thought process to all of us. Finally, let me request again to Ravinder, our General Secretary, DCIF, to propose vote of thanks.
Not required, yeah. Not required, please.
Thank you very much. But anyway,
No, sir. Vipin ji, vote of thank is also for the speaker and also for the audience.
Yes.
Okay, so please let him continue. Yeah, please.
Thanks, Anil ji. Thank you very much. It was really very good session. We started and we never knew that what we are going to hear. But now only we comprehend that what we heard is totally unique for our this one. We knew AI something else, but this AI is totally different AI. However, I extend my sincere gratitude and thanks to Vipin Tyagi ji for bringing the wonderful session to all of us. I extend my sincere thanks to all other participants of this seminar who have really continued and asked wonderful questions which have been suitably answered, and it has further generated few more questions. So tomorrow again we are going to have this session. The same link will follow. You are not to search for some other link. The same link will be available for you tomorrow, right? And I will try to send the contents which Vipinji has sent, all the contents which is going to be covered. Thank you very much once again for joining this wonderful session. Good evening.
Thank
Thank you,
everybody.
Ravinder.
I think this has been
Finally, I would like to thank Harsh Tiwari, who has actually worked from the background day to day and night to make this particular webinar a success. Thank you, Harsh, for us, for working for us. And thank you, everybody. And see you tomorrow at 3:55, as Ravinder has said, with the same link which has been shared with all of you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Anil, I must say that this is the best performance of our platform. No
Yeah.
glitch, no problems. Thanks to audience, no sound from background,
Thank you.
and complete attention from everybody. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.